Salut mine comrades, and welcome to Let's Play Banished. I think the bandwagon has successfully come and gone, and even if everyone else is playing it and has played it, who cares? This is what I feel like playing, this is what I'm playing now. I've just gotten into it again, and I want to share that with you. So, fairly recently, I've just had my first village that didn't die immediately, so I've kind of gotten the hang of the game finally. So, semi-prepared. Anyhow, so I'm going to take a moment to talk about how I was introduced to the game, my experience with it, and go over mods and such that I have. So if you're not interested in that sort of ramblings, feel free to skip to the next level where we'll design our tribe and get into the actual gameplay. But in general, mods, music is muted. I have a custom playlist in the description. And on that note, for the music I wasn't really sure what to do because it's hard to really set the culture of what the people in Banished are with their generic buildings and everything. So I took a couple Western European tracks and a lot of Celtic tracks because I like this sort of Celtic culture. I identify myself, even though I'm barely part Irish. I think it's like a fourth or something. But I do identify with that heritage and my Polish heritage. And this is a very lovely music you probably recognize. So, give me feedback on that, like whether or not I've correctly placed like the feel of the game and everything. And let's see. Let's get feedback. So let's go over the mods. It seems a bit odd to be doing a modded playthrough for my first playthrough. Normally I'd want to take the first one to be vanilla and everything, but from what I hear, Banished kind of pans out, and there's not a lot of stuff in it. I mean, there is like a good number of stuff and everything, but you quickly use the maximum amount of that stuff. So a lot of the mods I have here are just about adding more stuff to the game, and the developers seem like the game's really designed to have mods. I think it's still a single developer at this time. He might have taken a couple more people on board, but all the assets and everything, all the game design that you're looking at, all the art, one person did this. And I think he went to great lengths to make sure that mods could be integrated into the game. A lot of work went into the workshop integration with the Steam Workshop, and they've even provided examples for the different assets, all of which I have. So a lot of my mods are just about adding more stuff, adding new buildings, new livestock, new kinds of crops, new kind of facilities, that sort of thing. Not a lot of like messing with the gameplay or the balance type deals. I'm just not into that. There's like things that'll boost crop production by 400% and make the game super easy, and I want to try to retain the difficulty of Banished, as it's one of the main alluring points of the game, just the staggering, at times, difficulty. You can have like terrifyingly devastating famines and such, and winter is a problem if you don't have enough firewood. So, very fun, very challenging. My phone just went off. I'm going to mute that. I'm sorry if you heard it. So let's go over a few that I have. We have the mountain fields, which allow you to build fields on mountains, of course. And I have this one because I'm very finicky about, like, I want the fields. I'm like perfectionist, OCD type deal with it. I don't like having these jagged sort of like half-filled fields. I like perfect squares, all laid out. And the mountain fields allow me to do that when building over a mountain. Plus I think like you can still build farms on like hills and stuff. Just because like the terrain isn't completely flat doesn't mean you can't build a farming field. So there's that. And it may seem a little like cheaty, but I think the developer of this mod mentioned that he had a little balanced element. I think it was about 25% reduction in productivity for that, which is nice. We also have here the mountainless mines, which I know for a fact, it obviously allows you to build mines off the mountains, but my earlier game had, I couldn't build them on the mountains, so I don't know if that was just some weirdness with that particular game, or if he swapped it and now you can't build on mountains, but I think it's fair because for a mine, you don't need to be building into a mountain. I'm not an expert, and certainly not an expert on like medieval mining, but I think you can be alright just sort of digging a tunnel into the ground to bring up resources from the earth. So yeah, a couple more buildings and such. The ones that are blurred out have compatibility issues with the other mods. So here's all the ones I have. The Japanese facilities, more houses, more livestock. Just, as I said, more stuff. More climates adds more starting conditions, which we'll go over. Another more starting conditions. And yeah, specialized stockpile, stone bridge. Just more buildings. So I kind of got distracted there and didn't talk about how I was introduced to the game of Banished, which I think it's a pretty short story. I think it was just a Let's Player I saw playing it, and it looked interesting, looked like a fun little city builder. Obviously very beautifully designed, artistically, and can't remember the exact YouTuber it was. I think it was Quill. He does little Let's Try type series, and this is up his alley with the strategy city building elements. So yeah, it looked nice, and I waited until it went on sale on Steam and picked it up. So I think that'll do it for this first video, and in the next one we're gonna design our little town, and I'll go over our starting conditions, and then we'll hop right into the gameplay. So thank you for joining me. Join me next time. Sayonara.